Hi guys, welcome back to Guitars in the Attic, Mark Meets Guitars. Here it is, the heading was, could this possibly be the best 80s guitar that's been forgotten about? It's an Aria Pro Esprit. There's a little bit of history with this guitar and me. I know this guitar really, really well. I was lucky enough in the 90s to be involved in a project with a guy, and we were writing some songs, and the manager that was looking after us at the time got us involved with a producer called Gary Stevenson. And Gary Stevenson was the producer of Go West. He did all the big Go West albums back in the day. And when we were down there on his shelf of guitars, this was sitting on the shelf. Basically, back in the day when he did all the Go West albums, and he was the main producer for that, they had lots of guitars in the studio, and the guitarist on that was a guy called Alan Murphy, who is a well-known, very famous UK session guitarist who played with Kate Bush, Go West, Level 42. Absolutely inspiration to many guitar players in the 80s. He epitomised what it was to be a session player. He had a unique style of his own, which was very heavily influenced by Alan Holdsworth. I was never a massive Alan Holdsworth fan because I was never into the sort of fusion-y jazz type of stuff, but I was right into pop, and I loved Alan Murphy, and he was a huge influence of mine. And when we were down there, I just turned around to Gary and said, "That's not what I think it is on the wall." And he says, "Yeah." And I says, "You're kidding." Now, Alan Murphy, because I've seen a lot of press about him, he had a lot of these guitars. He had some in the studio, he had a few live, so there was several in his collection. This one, we can't guarantee that it played on those famous records like Don't Look Down and all those songs that it played, We Close Our Eyes, but there is the possibility that it could have been. It was in the studio at the same time that Alan was doing all these records. That's the reason why it was in the studio. It was a studio guitar. I can verify this guitar 100%. It came from Gary Stevenson. It came from his studio. It was a studio guitar. It's even got the modifications of what Alan did to his guitars for his trems. It's not the standard trem that came with the guitars from the factory. It's got Floyd Rose put on it, and also these dots that had the original sort of string guides, they've been filled in and a proper string guide put on this. That's the history of it. Anyway, on to how it sounds, okay? Like it, Callum?
It's so scratchy and glassy.
Yeah, there's nothing. I don't think there's a guitar that has that sort of. I don't know if it's out of phase. I don't know what it is. I don't know of a guitar that sounds like it, even completely cleaned up. I'll take the reverb off. It's just. Just, and then what you did with this switch, so that's some, I don't know if they call it out of phase or whatever it is, but then that flicks it on to being like a full humbucker type. And you think that it doesn't have enough, but you put the distortion in on it. It's just great. Now I know I'm bashing the bar a lot, but this is what these guitars were for. It was all about, that was what it was all about. It was all about the... But it's interesting with a bar. I mean, I'm not going to, dare I go on the educational thing, because used correctly, they're phenomenal. I have to calm down to try and get it good. If I'm excited, it doesn't work, because that's usually what happens in these videos anyway. I get too excited. But you see a lot of people with these type of guitars, they'll get the bar and they freight it. And it's just not what it's about. Because they've got a bar and they've not gone through that era, they go... And they think that's what it's for. It's not used in that fashion. You use it as you're thinking it's part of your vibrato. It should sound like... This hand becomes dead, and this hand becomes the vibrato with that bar. The best explanation is somebody like Hank Marvin. He was the genius at it. Jeff Beck came along, he took it to another level. Then folk like Alan Murphy came along and took it to a pop level, and he was just amazing at it. Gilmore's another one. That's how you use the bar. It should feel like it's part of, it's just vibrato, but if the guitar's set up great and it's a great guitar, it just comes alive. Doesn't it just sound killer? Yeah. And it's just all of it's just, even that, when you go back to this tone, you forget how great it sounds. can't. I'm not. I used to do them with my swell pedal, which makes them really easy to play. They're quite hard. I find it difficult. One, I'm always switching it off because I'm quite heavy-handed with this hand. Yeah, it's just, I love it. There you go, folks. The Aria, I love it. The Aria Pro RS Esprit. If you can manage to find one, you're getting yourself a gem of a guitar. There's been a few recently on eBay over the last sort of 5 years that I've seen going. I'm always looking for another one, just to have another one as a spare. Yeah. I saw a red one about 3 years ago, $899. Didn't jump at it then and should have done. But if you can find one, you are finding an absolute gem of a guitar. They play incredible, they sound incredible, and yeah, this is definitely one of the best forgotten about 80s guitars ever. Click and subscribe. Next thing being, if you've got a guitar out there that you think beats this, get in touch with us, bring it in, I'll have a play on it, get excited and do a lovely wee video for you. All the best, hope you like it, tune into the next one and we'll see you again soon. Ta-ta.